You're watching Afternoon Live. Let's have a look at the weather. And Tomasz Schafernaker rejoins me here in the studio. And we're talking about tornadoes and twisters. This is the start of the season in the United States.
Yeah, it's actually approaching the peak of the season over there in Tornado Alley. So Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, there's a whole region of the United States that gets regularly this time of the year vicious tornadoes, and we're just starting to get some pictures, and this is a storm system that's affecting them right now as we speak. These aren't live images, but we will be seeing more and more, I think, dramatic pictures in the next 24 hours.
If you're standing taking that picture, you're going to be feeling this, aren't you?
Yeah, you are, absolutely. I mean, these are typically around 100 metres across. I mean, it could be as wide as a mile, but I think you need a safe distance, obviously, to take some footage of that. So we haven't got too many images of them yet. Hopefully they will miss bigger towns and cities, because some of these, when they go through, it's almost as if a nuclear bomb's gone off. That's how powerful they can get.
Well, we'll have a look at how they're formed in a minute. But this is the alley you're talking about.
Yes. Yeah, so Tornado Alley is basically from the deep south here, from around about Texas through Oklahoma, which is around about here, and then into the other states, Texas and further northward. So it's this portion here, and the reason why that exists is because quite often this time of the year we have warm, moist air coming out of the Gulf of Mexico. You've got crucially dry air, colder air coming out of the Rockies, and the two sort of do something like that. They sort of override each other and they spin up these storm systems.
Now, I'm not going to say you're obsessed with weather, but at home, in your spare time, you did little experiments on weather.
I did. This was about a year ago now. So I found it on my iPhone actually this afternoon. I thought we could show that. So this is in my locker in my kitchen.
Of course it is.
That's a tornado. This is so it's a little device that
that you built.
Yes, I did actually. So it's a DIY tornado machine. 4 sheets of glass there. There's a black background. There's some dry ice at the bottom, and I needed to make the air spin, so I used this fan. And here's another one. This is a hurricane lamp, so it's glass, a glass vase.
And some tea leaves.
There's some tea leaves, yes, and they're floating around in liquid, which has been dyed with this UV reactive light. And what you can't see here is a milk frother at the top that's creating a little low pressure, and this is what.
But look at this. This is fantastic.
It really does look quite good, if I may say so, doesn't it? Doesn't last for very long because the tea leaves obviously go up and then fill the whole thing. So that's what's happening in the US right now. And we get these in the UK as well, but they don't tend to be as severe or as big, thankfully.
So what did you do? Go and have a cup of tea, wait for the tea leaves to settle, and then go and do that again?
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what I did. It took me about actually a couple of days to construct this.
We should say that's dry ice, and don't do this at home.
Yes, absolutely. Dry ice, you've got to handle it with gloves, because it's minus 79 degrees. It will absolutely burn you. So there are some quite dangerous elements to these experiments, yeah.
But it is fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and you do this at home?
No, I don't do it all the time. You know, there are other things that I do.
Yeah, we haven't got time for that, Thomas. Let's have a look at the forecast.
Yeah, enough of that self-promotion nonsense. Let's get the weather. This is what I'm really paid for. It's looking fine. You know, the weather across much of Europe, actually. If you see these yellows and oranges on our weather maps, that usually indicates that the weather's relatively warm. And these maps indicate relative warmth. So relatively cold in the north, obviously relative warm in the south. That's not rocket science. And actually, across much of Europe this week, the weather's looking pretty warm. We are currently in between weather systems. So one out in the Atlantic here, just get out of the way, and another one there in more western central parts of Europe. So we're in this sort of gap of cloud-free, weather-free weather, if you know what I mean. So some sunshine.
Weather-free weather?
Yeah, well, weather's a technical term, you know, in meteorology. Weather means that actually something is happening, you know, where there's rain falling out of the sky or a bit of fog. That is weather. If it's just blue skies and no wind, meteorologists say that there is no weather. But tonight it's... honestly. Tonight it's clear skies, temperatures of around about 6 degrees in city centres, and then tomorrow we do it all over again. Well, not completely, because you see across northern parts of Wales, around Merseyside, maybe into the North Midlands, there could be a little bit of cloud here, maybe some spots of rain, so you may be disappointed if sunshine is what you want. But in the north of Scotland, more so, I think, cloudy with some outbreaks of rain. But the majority of the country, I think, no weather. So sunshine and temperatures hovering around the high teens or 20 degrees. Now, we are still in between weather systems on Thursday. So one just off the northeast coast of Scotland there, another one, very weak one, approaching the southwestern approaches, as we like to call it on the weather. But across much of the country, again, it's a fine day. So again, if sunshine is what you want, it's looking absolutely fine. I know we quite often get people tweeting and saying, no, I don't like the sunshine, I like rain. I guess there are people like that as well. But, you know, on the whole, it's looking fine. There is a change on the way as we head into next week. So a jet stream will be responsible for pushing in a little bit more weather in our direction. So we'll see cloud and some rain being pushed in. And are we going to have a look at that? Yes, we are. Here it is. Big low there. And you can see most of the rain, if you can just about make out the UK, most of the rain is actually heading towards Scotland. So this is next week. I mean, this is still a long way off. We've got this week to get through, and this week will sort of bring skies a bit like this. So decent enough. That's it.